NCDC draft day is upon us. We are getting ready to make those selections. But before we do, we got to talk to the brains of all the operations. And there is no bigger brain in my mind than the guy with us today, Dan Hodge. We call him Hodgie. We love Coach Hodge, an incredible playing career, an incredible coaching career. The things he's done for the game of hockey to help this thing grow, we love getting a chance to be a part of and watch. Twin City, the Thunder, are going to be booming in the 22-23 campaign. But first, they got a draft. Coach, what are we going through right now? What's the thought process is there? What's happening in that big brain?
Well, it's a busy time of year. It's funny, the season ends and you got about a week to kind of see your family, and then it's pretty much right back at it. But exciting time of year. Looking to build the future of the organization, and this year has been great. I mean, you had a lot of people reaching out, advisors, coaches from in the last couple of years has been more regionalized. Now it's more cross country around the world, sending lists of players we should look at. So we're doing a lot of research and a lot of kind of our big board. It's fun to have a big board this time of year. That's for sure.
Yeah. And you talk about the big board. You talk about going into a draft like this. I've asked a few of the guys, in the professional ranks, you're always seeing trades happening, guys trading up, things like that. And there's so much competition on draft day. Is there competition on draft day here? Do guys have picks in their own silos and that's where they go? Or might you walk up and select someone right before they end up on someone else's draft list?
Yeah, and that's kind of what the draft's about, right? I mean, like last year, South Shore traded us the first pick, and they ended up picking up Tim Henke. So good job on that on their part, and and we traded away a pick. But hey, at the end of the day, it's some teams have guys that have their heart set on, and for us, we're just going to hold tight at 7 and see what comes our way.
And now you go through draft day, you're getting prepared for it, you're building this squad in Twin City. For the folks at home, I mean, if they hear their name called, whether it be from the Twin City Thunder or any NCDC organization on draft day, you're somebody who's had a great playing lineage. You've had an incredible career. Your family is synonymous with the game of hockey and success both on and off the ice. Can you talk to me? Why do you select the NCDC? Why did you put yourself here? Why are you running this organization up in Twin City? And what is so special about the NCDC?
Well, for me, it's about opportunity. I want to give kids opportunity to play at the highest level possible. And, some kids are looking for that chance to go to school and looking for an opportunity to play in a competitive environment, in a competitive league that showcases them. And, I find it one of the things we do well is we do a good job of having the kids compete every day for spots. And that's how it's going to be, in college at the next level is competition every day. So we set the standard early, and we make sure that the players understand that when they're just because they're drafted does not guarantee them a spot on the team. It's about competition.
Yeah.
So, whether you're a tender, a draft pick, or a returning player, we tell all of our players, you got to earn the spot, because that's how it's going to be. In college, you got 30 guys competing for 20 spots. Now you've got 20 at this point, you got 23 guys competing for spots on the weekends. So we try to set the bar early and understand that, the job is just starting. It's about winning the job, but then you got to keep the job. So we try to set that standard, but, we're excited about it. And the NCDC is a great league, great skill, great speed, some great hockey. And it's located in a great area in the northeast part of the country, surrounded by millions and hundreds of colleges with hockey programs. So, that's a great niche for us.
And obviously Twin City, you guys are the kings of Maine, right? And you look at it, you look at this Thunder organization, you look at what you guys do, you look at the building you play in, the town surrounding it. When we get a chance to go up there, it's always our favorite place to be. It's just the community surrounding this team is a beautiful thing to watch. Can you kind of talk about Twin City and just where does this success come from, and where does this community atmosphere come from?
Well, Maine is a hockey. I think it started in the '90s, right, with the University of Maine Black Bears with Paul Correa, and unfortunately, I was at Merrimack at the time, so I had to play against those guys. With Sean Walsh as the coach, and they were kind of the toast of the town back in the '90s, and and I think it's just built from there. The Maine Mariners, the Portland Pirates. There's a big hockey following in the state, so for people to see kids that are possibly the next Division I athlete or possibly a USHL draft pick, or who knows? You never know. Maybe an NHL draft pick. Hey, I saw that kid play back in 2022 for the Thunder, and it's just one of those things where people embrace it. I mean, you hear about the Lewiston Maniacs in the Q when they won their championship, years ago, and people still talk about it. So people are excited about it. They have a thirst for hockey, and you see there's some really big youth hockey organizations that are taken to it. The Maine Gladiators really support us well. Our players work with their organization, and that youth hockey supports the team, and that's kind of the bed of the whole thing. Is you got a good youth program behind you, and they support you, and you can kind of build through that. But the community surrounds us very well, and they welcome us when we first came in, and the city of Auburn has been fantastic to us.
And you look at what you do. What I love about your mentality here and your style, not just to compete when you're there, but you do a good job of kind of utilizing the USPHL Premier as a place to kind of bring in talent. Like you look at Jonah Mortensen. I mean, you guys tender him. That kid's a rock. We talked to him down in Tampa. We met him when we were working with Brett Strout, and kind of the work that young guy puts in. The coaching staff, what they said about him was he gets here before us. He's beaten the entire organization into the building and out of it. I mean, how do you utilize the rest of the USPHL framework as a place to recruit from?
First of all, about Jonah, I met Jonah at one of the showcases. He shook my hand, and I thought he broke it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, I'm going to need that hand back, Jonah. I mean, such a man. He's such a man child, and just it's kind of like men against boys out there. He's such a big frame, and just a kid who controls the game. But I'll be honest with you, Dan, and this is going to sound petty, but I remember back years ago, I was in a different league, and I was speaking to the commissioner of a different league. And I asked him, I said, why don't you look at more tier 3 players? He looked at me in the eye and he said, Hodge, it's because they're not good enough. And I was shocked. And I look around and I see premier players, tier 3 players that can play tier 2 hockey. Yep. So I have always told myself that if there's a tier 3 hockey player that can play at this level and I can recognize that, I'm going to give him an opportunity. To hear that people say that they're not good enough is frustrating and aggravating. So I made sure when we took this over that tier 3 players were going to get an opportunity to play here. And if they could play, they're going to stay. And I think we've shown that. We've built our team around some tier 3 players.
Yeah, of course.
Matty Cole, Nick Bernstein, to name a few from last year, came in and did a good job for us. So if the kid's good enough to play, he's going to play.
Coach, last question for you. Draft day. What's a win for you? What's considered a win? Do you win on draft day, do you think? I mean, you're going to walk out of there. What do you want to feel like when you leave the draft?
I want to feel that we've got some players that can step in right away. Hopefully our first couple of round picks are guys that can come in and contribute. But we want to get kids that are excited to be here, excited to know about the league and want to play here and say, hey, I'm excited about it. We reached out to some players and talked to them and, making sure there's a mutual interest. And one of those things is making sure those kids are excited to be here and excited about the league and excited about the opportunity that they'll get with the Thunder.
I'm excited to play for the Twin City Thunder. I'm not allowed, though. Coach ain't bringing me in. I'm not good enough. I ain't playing.
Maybe. You never know. Hey,
you never know.
Quick shout out. I got to give a quick shout out to my Rivermen, 2022 SPHL champions.
And it's been how long since the last
22 years.
22 years.
22 years. Coach Jean-Guy Trudel. Way to go, boys. Congratulations on the championship. It was fantastic to watch. I was riveted.
I love it.
Got to give a shout out to my boys.
Congratulations to the boys in Peoria. Coach, I know you raised the cup while you're out there. You know what it feels like to raise a cup. And maybe after draft day, you may be looking at raising a cup of your own here in the NCDC.
That's the plan.
All right, folks, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday, May 11th, live, the Dan K Show on YouTube.com. How do I get there? Search NCDC Draft or go today, United States Premier Hockey League on YouTube.com and hit that little bell, subscribe, like, it'll kick you a reminder. You'll be ready to go on draft night. We will have all the news and information you need on the next set of talent to take the ice in the NCDC.